Athletes are the most overpowered recruits in college football 25, and let's go over it in this video. I'm pretty much of the mindset you should only recruit athletes for certain positions in this game, and let's pretty much get into that. If y'all enjoying the content, make sure I like, comment, subscribe, man. Follow me on Instagram, and then also follow my Twitch. First off, anytime you're starting the year and recruiting and you're able to go after 5 stars, I think you should sort by athletes and then come in here and make sure you add in every single one of these athletes that are 5-star, man. He's going to be a baller. At some position, he is going to be a great player. For me, 9 times out of 10. Like, he is just going to be a phenomenal player. This guy, he's considered a tight end possession, but he might be good at linebacker. You know, he's 6'4", 251. He might be a great edge rusher. #1 player in the nation is an athlete. This is a guy we're definitely going to try to get here. And then also, you got a running back. Athlete running back, he also might be able to move the linebacker. He is small, but he could also play tight end. His rating for tight end probably is going to be the highest. And then as well as he probably could play on the D-line. Like I said, he is small, probably in the secondary. Guys like this could generally play anywhere on the field. Athlete scrambler quarterbacks are by far the best quarterbacks in this game. For some reason, listen, I'm here for it, man. I love the athletes in this game. For some reason, they are coming in with higher speed than the normal scrambling quarterbacks. Just a normal scrambling quarterback like this, the athletes on average are coming in with higher speed. I don't know why. Maybe it's because they're playing another position. Whatever it is, they are coming in with pretty good speed. And then some of these guys are also able to move the running back. They make good running backs at time. And then also they can move the wide receiver sometimes, even on the defensive side of the ball. But for me, I only recruit, like if I actually want to be competitive and, you know, build the best roster, I'm going to go after an athlete quarterback every single time because they're going to be able to throw well. The speed is obviously there. You get elite speed. They have patched them. You know, when the game first came out, these quarterbacks was insane. They patched them a little bit, but they still are by far the best quarterback build in this game. We're going to make sure we recruit a bunch of these athletes, and at the end of the video, we'll go through pretty much all the athletes that we recruit, and we'll assign them to certain positions and pretty much go through it. Then you got the running back athletes, and in my opinion, this is the most interesting athlete build because this is going to be the only athlete that have different tendencies. Like right here, you see this athlete's tendency is elusive back. We come down here, you got a power back, and if we keep coming down, we'll find a receiving back here at some point. Yep, receiving back athlete. So you could literally get all 3 tendencies as an athlete here, which makes things a little bit interesting. Like you see this guy, he's 5'10". 185 pounds, but they consider him an athlete. Listen, I want to bring him in to see where he could play. Obviously, it's not going to be the D-line. He might be able to play, you know, safety, more so probably cornerback. But he's super light, man. That is super light. 185 is super small for, you know, a running back, essentially. Maybe he could switch to wide receiver. When you compare it to, you know, some of these power back athletes that's coming in, you know, 6'3", 230, you know, he's clearly can move the linebacker, maybe even on the D-line. So you're getting a lot of different diversity with these athlete running backs. Now, the athlete physical wide receiver is another one of them situations where I genuinely think this is your best bet for recruiting safety. I know that sounds crazy, but I think this is your best bet for recruiting safety. When you bring some of these guys in, we'll actually, you know, go through a few of them. You're actually able to see that they're coming in with high speed, and once you actually get them on campus and you're able to see their full, you know, spread of attributes, they're coming in with good tackling, zone coverage, man coverage, and they're going to have that high speed, man. You don't really get that too much with safeties. Safeties usually come in with the lower 90s. You could get one of these athlete wide receivers coming in with 97 speed, and he's big, 6'3", you know, 207. You got a 6'2" guy here, then you got another 6'2" guy here. So these guys are coming in big, strong, fast, and they could tackle, cover as well. All right, so we quickly just scouted the 3 of them, and they all coming in with solid speed because like I said, they are a receiver, but they're going to obviously have the crazy catching skills, but they could transition to the defensive side of the ball, and I really like these guys as safety, man. I'm telling you. These guys, for me, it's probably hybrid safety #1 as my favorite safety. And then it's probably this physical athlete wide receiver, close number 2. Close number 2, just because they're coming in with so much speed, and then also just everything. They do a little bit of everything, but we're going to see when we get to the end of the video and we actually get them on campus. Next, we got the athlete tight ends. In this class, we only have 1 4-star athlete tight end, They are going to be good to move to the D-line, maybe even linebacker sometimes, but they're going to be a little bit bigger, slower, so they can also be good on that D-line, but kind of one of my least favorite when it comes to the athletes. Next, we have the athlete O-lineman, which is only going to be the center position, man. That's the only athlete O-lineman center. They're only going to be the agile archetype. And when I dropped the video similar to this at the start of the year, and I talked a little bit about athletes, y'all told me I was sleeping on the athlete center. So I did my research, tapped in a little bit, and I realized they can be elite. They are some steppers. You find you one, they are fairly good. And we have a couple here to show you. We're going to try to get them on campus. We're going to try to, have them commit to our university so we're able to actually see their full stat spread. But these guys, I wouldn't suggest moving them to tackle. I wouldn't. But you can move them to, any of the guard positions. Then also they can play on the D-line. And sometimes they coming in better on the D-line. Like you get one of these guys, they might be a 74 on the O-line. You move them to D-line, they might be a 78. That's kind of the situation you get in with some of these guys. So for the D-line, there are no athlete defensive tackles. You will have some athlete defensive ends. And these guys could also maybe play a little bit of linebacker, tight end. Kind of that's pretty much what their athlete part is. I wouldn't suggest putting them on the O-line. They're a little bit light. Definitely would not suggest putting them on the O-line. But these guys are another one that I really I don't want to say I don't care for it, but I kind of try to avoid them. And I'm gonna show you their attributes. I'm gonna show you why I kind of avoid them. So for me, I feel like their attributes are a little bit hit or miss. Like right here, we got a guy, man. He's a power rusher. 73 on the power moves is crazy to me. That's crazy low, especially when we can't see the block shedding. If the block shedding is in a solid spot, maybe, but we just can't see where that block shedding is. 73 power moves for a 4-star, power rusher is crazy. If you go after a normal power rusher, he's guaranteed he's going to have higher power moves than that at a 4-star level. Now, like I said, it's a little bit inconsistent. You look at this, 4-star athlete, his power moves are in a solid spot. Starting off at 80, I could work with that. I could do that. This guy looks way better. In literally every category in my book, this guy is better. And so I will actually go after a guy like this, but the other one, Moses, no, I'm not going after him. 78 speed is a little bit low. Also, if we wanted to move him to tight end, a little bit on the low side. 82 speed, also, not great, but that could play at tight end, man. I'm fine having the 82 speed tight end out there. And so this guy, like I said, just a little bit inconsistent, so I could try to stay away from the D lineman. All right, now we're getting into my favorite territory, man, the middle linebackers. I'm going after every single athlete 4-star middle linebacker. If he's a 5-star, send everything you got at him, man. Send a Ferrari, send a collective, send everything you got at that man, because he's going to be able to play anywhere on that defense. I wouldn't suggest moving him to offense. He could play anywhere on that defense, and when I say anywhere, I truly mean that. Like, look at a guy like this. He's not a gem, but if you do get a gem, they could come in with about 93, 92 speed, all the way, somewhere in the 90s. They speed could be all the way that high. And right here, we got like I said, this guy is not even a gem. He's coming in with 90 speed at 222 pounds. He's only 5'11". He is a little bit shorter, but he is going to have elite speed, zone coverage 76 for a linebacker. That is good. 80 on the tackling. That's a little bit on the slow side or low side. You can get some of these guys to come in with 85, 86 tackling as a true freshman. I have one in my Timbu series. Make sure to go check out that series. He's having an amazing season. Best player on our defense as a freshman. Block shedding 71, not great. It is on the lower side. But like I said, you get an athlete one, he will be an elite player. And then we continue to look here. 89 on the speed. This is probably a better one. Sacrifice one speed, you get more tackling. 85 on the tackling. Block shedding is a little bit better. These athlete middle linebackers, for me personally, because when you just recruit, reminder, these are run stoppers. When you recruit a regular run stopping middle linebacker or any linebacker, they zone coverage are going to be dirt. They zone coverage is going to be in the 60s. Extremely low. And I'll go ahead and I'll add ones just to show y'all. I went ahead, I added the first 2 run stopping middle linebackers I could see. Look at their national rank, 53, and then right here we got 83. Compared to this guy right here, 278th in the nation. Y'all tell me whose stats look better, man. Y'all tell me. Tackling for this guy is higher. He do have better tackling, but zone coverage. Look at the zone coverage now. That's a huge difference. 59 zone compared to 76 zone speed. Our athlete has more speed. Agility. Our athlete has more agility. Block shedding. Our athlete has more block shedding. Strength, one higher for the middle linebacker. We'll take that. We'll do that. Like, this is, for me, this is a big difference. Like, I'll go after one of these athletes every single time. It's such a big difference for these middle linebackers. And these guys can play safety. You can move them to safety. They damn near can play corner because their man coverage is going to be damn near in the same spot. Man coverage is going to be around a 70 as well. And that's good for a linebacker. Then also, there are finesse moves. For some reason, they get finesse moves. You can play these guys on the D-line. They can rush the passer as well. These guys can literally play on all three levels. Go after these guys every time you see them, man. Then safeties and corners, there are no athletes for those positions. All right, man, so we made it to the National Signing Day in the offseason. We end up signing 21 total of these athletes. Pretty much every single athlete. We won it. We got it. We're Ohio State. That's why we went with Ohio State, just so we have ours and we're able to sign whoever we want. Now we can actually specifically look at some of these athletes, especially like the #1 player in the nation. Like, I want to see what he could play. Like, he's supposed to be an athlete, tight end. Let's see, where some of these players could actually play at. All right, man, let's look here. #1 player in the nation. He's coming in with some elite stats. 87 on the speed. They call him a 70 overall, but when you actually put him at a position, we'll see his overall. What is overall essentially going to be? 87 on the speed. This is supposed to be a tight end, I'm assuming. Like I said, possession guy, he's supposed to be a tight end. 81 on the speed. He is elite, man. He is elite. Let's continue to look. Awareness 69, 82 on the strength. He has some trucking, stiff form, nothing crazy. Catching is good. 84 catching, 82 catching traffic. Route running is solid for a tight end. Pretty much what you expect for a tight end right here. Continue to look. Obviously can't play quarterback. Run blocking is not great. Not an old lineman, but he is a tight end. Run blocking is okay. Nothing to write home about there. But tackling, 77 on the tackle. He obviously could play some defense. Or excuse me, 88 on the tackling. That was play recognition. 77 on play recognition. 88 on tackling. This guy could be a day one linebacker, in my opinion. 88 on the tackling. Hit power 85. That's good. Block shedding in a good spot. Finesse moves, 78 on the finesse moves. He could be an edge rusher. He could do everything. Then you look at pursuit, 82 on the pursuit, solid. Zone coverage, 71 on the zone coverage. He could play linebacker. He could play defensive end. I wouldn't say safety, a little bit too low for safety, at least in my book. 62 on the man coverage. That's not bad for a linebacker at all, man. This is a man that could play anywhere on the field, damn near. You come in here and look at his actually overall at any position, and he could play any position. You could get a tight end, a defensive end. Do you need a safety? Well, if you do, he could play safety. Do you need a linebacker? He could play linebacker. He could play off ball. He could play on ball linebacker. He could go to defensive tackle. He could play corner. But no, seriously, like these athletes at any positions are crazy. This is just one example. Let's keep looking. Next, let's look at one of our athlete wide receivers. And you see here, man, this guy. He's coming in 6'2", 212 pounds. He got the 95 speed on him. They only call him a 68 overall. That's going to change. That's cap. They capping. They lying. Awareness, low, 66 on the awareness. Ball carrying vision, not great. Trucking, 79 trucking for wide receiver is pretty good. Then also spin move, juke moves. Nothing to write home about, but it's solid. Catching is not great. Like I said, you don't, in my opinion, you don't want to play these guys at wide receiver. Even though his pretty much route running is pretty good for pretty much an athlete wide receiver, but you don't want to play these guys at wide receiver. I suggest moving them more on the defensive side of the ball, and you're gonna see why here in a second. Once we scroll down, you're able to see some of their defensive stats. So 70 on the tackling, a little bit on the low side. We will admit that is on the low side. Hit power is not great, but you come here, look at zone and man coverage. This is elite. This is some elite coverage for a freshman. 78 on the man, 80 on the zone. Press coverage is dirt. He can't move the corner unless you're like me where you don't press at all. But he could definitely move the safety and he could stick at safety. He just got to get better at tackling a little bit. But your safety's probably got around 70 tackling anyway, so you're probably not going to tell the difference that much. But he has elite ball skills. He was a former wide receiver and he could cover. And you come in here and press X on him, and now you can see his true overall. At wide receiver, where we recruited him at, he is not good. 68 wide receiver. Every other position he is good at. They consider him a 74 overall corner. Like I said, I wouldn't put him at corner because the press is a little bit low. I like him at safety, especially either strong, free. You can even put him at middle linebacker. That's a little bit OD. 95 speed middle linebacker is a little bit crazy. I would put him at safety, and like I said, this is one of my favorite safety builds just because the zone coverage and the man coverage is going to be in a very good spot. Tackling is a little bit low for this guy, but they're all not going to come with that low tackling. Some guys have a little bit better. Now let's look at an example of my favorite, which is going to be the middle linebackers. This guy, they say he is 76 overall, 89 the speed. That's solid. 89 the speed. We could look at both of these guys. Both of these guys are both 79 or 76 overalls, and they both got 89 speed. They both are athlete linebackers that obviously, in my opinion, could play anywhere on the field but offense. You don't want to put these guys on offense. They can play anywhere on defense. Catching is not bad, but they don't have any other offense ability. So come over here to the defense, really able to see their true potential. Tackling. 85 tackling, 83 tackling. We'll take that. Hit power, high 70s, nothing to write home about. Block shedding, 79 on the block shedding, 75 on the block shedding for this guy. I feel like that block shedding came in a little bit higher than what it said. I feel like that block shedding said it was around a 70, 73 is what I remember, but it is a little bit higher. 79 block shedding for a linebacker. Freshman is fairly good. Finesse moves. This guy can rush the passer. 73, 71. He could develop to be a good pass rusher. Year 1, he's not going to be it, but by year 3 or whatever, he's going to be a good pass rusher. Coverage is solid for a linebacker, man. Especially consider that they are run-stopping linebackers. You've seen the other run-stopping linebackers. Their zone coverage was in the 50s. I think it was 59, 58. This guy's coming in with 75 on the zone. Also with good tackling, good speed. He can even press the ball. At least this one can. He can even press. He got better press than, some safeties out there. He could play anywhere on the field, both these guys. Let's come here and look at the overall at other positions. So, press X on this guy. If you play him at middle linebacker, he is 76 overall, but he could literally play anywhere on this defense, man. Literally. He could play outside linebacker. He could play safety, any of the safety positions. He could rush from the edge. He could play middle linebacker. He could play slot corner. You could even get him in there at D tackle. These players could play literally anywhere on the field. The only position I wouldn't suggest is D tackle. Literally, the only position I would not suggest D tackle and probably corner, just because his speed was 89, but his coverage ratings wasn't that phenomenal to have the low 89 speed. So I wouldn't suggest D tackle or corner, but literally any other of these other positions he could play at, and he could turn into an elite player at those positions. Next, let's look at the old linemen, our centers that we brought in. We don't even have to look at their stats. Let's just look at the overall. So speed is good. 75 speed. He's 6'1", 304. They only got him as a 68 overall. You press X on him and it tells you otherwise. He could play tight end. I wouldn't suggest it. His catching is not going to be great. They got him as a high blocking tight end because he got good blocking stats. Don't put a guy like this at tight end. D tackle. He certainly could play D tackle. We could look at his stats. He's going to have some pretty solid speed rushing moves. He could play on the O-line, but other than center, you come down here, he's the lowest overall center. 68 center. You play him at any of these other positions, I wouldn't suggest the tackles, but right guard, left guard, that is where he's going to thrive at. That is his better position. You could also put this guy at linebacker. I wouldn't suggest it. Maybe defensive end, but I would suggest D tackle or one of the guards, center if necessary. You come in here, you look at his stats. He got 89 on the strength. This is going to be that same center prospect. 75 on the speed. Continue to come over here and look. Blocking stats are all super solid. Nothing really stands out other than the lead blocking and impact blocking, but this is solid. You're getting good, solid stats across the board, and you can't really ask for more than this, man. If I'm getting just pretty much good stats or pretty much mediocre stats and he's able to develop, we'll take that compared to, some of these pass blockers. They're coming in with no strength, super low on the run blocking stats, and they're never going to develop it. So seeing this, as long as he developed well, overall, we're in a good spot. Tackling is good. 83 on the tackling. Block shedding is a little bit low for a D tackle, but he is a speed rusher. Look at the finesse moves. 87 finesse moves, man. You're getting an 87 finesse moves D tackle here. This is crazy. He could be a two-way player, only if two-way players wasn't broken in this game. But this could legit be a two-way player on the O-line with 87 finesse moves and solid blocking stats. Put him at left guard, put him at D tackle. Maybe even have him rushing off the edge, man. He is going to be a solid player for you. Next, let's look at the running back position. We got the power back, and then we also have our receiving back right here that we recruited athletes. They're both starting off as a 75 overall. 90 speed for the power back, 91 for the receiving back. Strength, 86 strength for that power back. That's good. That is elite. He could play somewhere, maybe even on that D line. We'll see. Break tackle, tackling. Truckling, all good for the power back. Stiff form, all good. The receiving back also is going to have some pretty solid juke move. Catching, obviously, is going to be good. Route running is solid. Release, solid. Nothing really for the quarterback stats, but you continue to scroll over here and you get to the defense side of the ball. So tackling is going to be solid. 70 and then 72 for the power back. Then hit power 74, block shedding is nothing special, nothing to write home about. These guys are probably going to play either linebacker or maybe safety for you. Finesse moves. The power back got some solid finesse moves. The receiving back got some solid power moves. So they can rush the passer. They can rush the passer for sure. They could develop into being elite pass rushers as well. But the one thing you get in here with the receiving back athletes, you are getting the ability to play safety, maybe even corner. 78 on the man coverage and then 73 on the zone coverage. That is better than some safeties that you'll get coming out of this class, out of any class. That is legit better than some safeties, maybe even some corners. Press coverage is the only concern. It's not great. Press coverage is not going to be good. They also can return kicks, but you come in here and press X on him and you can see what other positions he could play. He is going to be a 75 over running back, 75 overall running back. Also safety, he could play corner. I wouldn't suggest the corner. You can even stick him at linebacker. He's a little bit too light for linebacker in my opinion, but he could be a very good safety for sure. Tackling just got to develop a little bit and he will be a very solid safety. And then this is the power back. I think he's less useful in my opinion, just because you could put him on the D line, but he just didn't seem that phenomenal as a pass rusher, especially with the block shedding not very good, and then also the finesse moves was like 73. It was solid, but he do have 90 speed, so that will help him, you know, rushing the passer. So you could put him on the D line, this power back. I'm not against it, even linebacker, even though the tackling is a little bit low for me, but he can't play safety. This is a guy you don't want to put at safety. The receiving backs can move to safety, not the power backs. And then the elusive back, this is the one I said you could move the tight end. They call him an 82 overall tight end. I wouldn't suggest it. He's only 5'11". Some people don't think height matters in this game. I would probably argue in that favor. Probably don't matter that much. But these elusive backs, as you see, they can do everything. They can play everywhere on the field, man. From defensive end all the way to safety, running back, like linebacker. They could literally play anywhere on this field. Let's actually look at his stats and see why he is so good. So he got 90 speed, good acceleration, good agility, change of direction is good, strength 74. Obviously, he got good ball carrying stats as well. Juke move, spin move, catching is very. What the hell is this, man? What am I looking at? What am I looking at? Is this not like the best out of all of? Like, look at his route running. He literally has better route running than our receiving back. Literally, like 80 short, 80 medium, and 80 deep. That is all better than our receiving back, man. All better than our receiving back, even better than some of our wide receivers. Also elite catching. This is a player right here, man. This is a player. Juke move is elite. This is a good player. Release, 87 release. You might want to just put this guy at wide receiver. Honestly, you might just want to put him at wide receiver, man. I don't see why you wouldn't at this point. Come over here to his defensive stats. He can even throw the ball under pressure. I know that's random. Probably don't even matter, but come over here to the defensive stats. 70 on the tackling, not great. 73 on the block shed, or excuse me, on the hit power. Block shed is low. Finesse moves. He is a finesse and power rusher. 78 on the finesse moves, 73 on the power moves. You got the block, or you got the pursuit. Now you get into the zone coverage. And man, 80 man. That is the highest coverage we've seen for any of these athletes. 76 on the zone. And then also he could return kicks. He could do literally everything. That's why you see he could play any positions on the field. He literally is a switch army knife, man. He could do a little bit of everything out there. That's why I like these athletes so much, man. Especially if you're a small program. Get one of these guys. You can play him wherever you need. Move him around each year. When you get new players coming in, you can move them to a different position. All of that, man. It works very well. And next, let's look at our scrambling quarterbacks, man, that we brought in, our athletes. We have 2 of them here, and look at the abilities they come in at, man. Max ability, or I should say 5 abilities off the rip, and then this guy got 4 abilities. Like, what are we doing, man? I like that. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I like it, but we'll take it. Look at this guy. He could play other positions, only running back. Dave is not that versatile, but you look at the other guy, and he could play other positions. He could go to tight end. He could go to wide receiver, running back. He'd be a good receiving back. He could play a lot of these positions on offense, and you look at his stats. Speed is not going to be great, but he could do a little bit of everything. Obviously, he could throw the ball. Throw accuracy deep is a little bit low right now. It'll develop. But other than that, he could be a great ball carrier as well, just because they could also play running back, and obviously there are athletes out there. Good, solid trucking for this guy. And then that's all the stats you can see since we actually moved them to pretty much the position. But these are players, man. I like to recruit these athlete quarterbacks. Like I said, I believe they are better than any other quarterback in the game. Man, other than that, that's all I got for y'all today. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe, all that, man. Appreciate y'all for watching. Click the screen now if y'all want to see our temple rebuild.